With Johnny Jelly being the topic du jour, I wanted to touch on some of the ramifications of his suspension. First of all, do yourself a favor and go read Lori Nichols' article over at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel today, where she does a fantastic job breaking down how a player can be in the NFL's substance abuse program and the public have no knowledge of it whatsoever. Now, a player can enter that program for simply having an arrest, not a conviction, as Jolly has been arrested in 2008 for codeine possession. We also find out that in stage 3 of the program only can a player be suspended for up to a year's time. And in order to be in stage 3, the player had to have multiple violations of the league's drug policy. Now, this leads me to believe that Jelly's tested positive for drugs on multiple occasions from the league. Because remember, he can still be found innocent from those charges stemming from the Purple Drank incident in Texas. Now, as far as ramifications go, as has been mentioned many times, the Packers have prepared for this eventuality pretty well. They flip-flopped Ryan Pickett and B.J. Raji, where Raji will be at the nose and Pickett at end this year. They drafted Mike Neal and C.J. Wilson this past April in the draft, and they've also kept Justin Harrell around where they could have cut him before. Now, all this isn't to say that they're not going to miss Jolly. As I've written before and as I've said before, he had 75 tackles last year, 11 batted passes, which is a single-season team record for defensive linemen for the Packers, and a block kick, which makes 2 in his career. And he's been the only player on the team that's shown any penchant for it to be able to do a game-changing, momentum-changing play like that on special teams. But the door's been opened, okay? So the Packers have some options. They should be pretty good with their starting 3 of Jenkins, Raji, and Pickett along the defensive line, and some rotational players, and they'll have a chance to make an impact on the team. Guys like the rookies, Neal and Wilson, and then Harrell and Wynn possibly as well. The Packers will probably keep either 6 or 7 defensive linemen on the team this year. Last year they kept 6. I would say a pretty good bet would be locks for the team this year would be Jenkins, Raji, Pickett, and Neal as a high round draft choices. Those 4 are locks. And then you guys got guys like Justin Harrell, Jarius Wynn, and C.J. Wilson fighting for perhaps the last spots on the team. Perhaps all of them kept. If the Packers keep 7 defensive linemen, anyone beyond that would be a long shot. Would have to take an injury probably for the Packers to keep them. Now, this did hurt the depth of the team, though. The Packers can't afford an injury like they could before. It's going to be really hard to depend on a Justin Harrell or a Mike Neal if they have to be inserted into the starting lineup. So that's something else that the Packers are going to be a little less fortunate for with the suspension. Another ramification, somebody on the team's going to be pretty happy. There's going to be 1 less player that needs to be cut to reach that 80-man roster limit heading into training camp. With the rookies signing now, the Packers only have 3 players left to sign. First-round draft pick Brian Bulaga, second-round draft choice Mike Neal, and the unsigned Atari Bigby. To make room for them, I believe only 2 players need to be cut now instead of 3. So the 81st player on the roster, if you will, is going to be very happy that now he has a job. And one final thing to look at, the contract situation of Johnny Jolly. As if I'm correct, the Packers have the opportunity to cut him when he comes away from suspension. They may do that. They may decide to part ways with him. I have no clue. They may not. But if not, it'll be interesting to see how his contract plays out. As you know, he signed a 1-year tender just about a month ago, and seeing as he didn't play this year, he wasn't injured, I would like to think that would carry over into the following year, but I'm not sure, so that'll be something to look for in the coming days. But that's all. Have a good weekend, Packer fans. Catch you on Cheesehead TV.